Slowly but surely, I'm getting through all these reviews. Nearing 100, of course, but whatever. By Elliot Bonneville. The last thing you see is a sneer on Yender's face as the Archmage flicks a dismissive banishing spell in your direction. So this is his thanks for the amulet you forged him. You awake to find yourself on the floor of a hostile dungeon teeming with legendary monsters and legendary items. This must be where the so-called Archmage sends the things he doesn't feel like dealing with. As a smith, a roguesmith, you know what you have to do. Craft powerful weapons, fight your way to freedom, and avenge yourself upon a foolish Archmage who dared to earn your ire. So, controls with the arrow keys or numpad, V keys, HJKL to move. Press period to rest, regain health, press G to grab items, I to open inventory, L to toggle look mode, greater than or less than for going up or going down, M to toggle message log, question mark for help screen, escape to close the windows and cancel actions. Not that great basically for a browser, but whatever, it is what it is. Basics. Explore every floor to find weapons, components, and talismans. Move directly into enemies to attack them. Each floor gets progressively more difficult. Find the stairs to descend to the next level. There are four in total. Crafting. Collect weapon components scattered throughout the dungeon to assemble weapons. Talismans provide special bonuses when attached to weapons. Different enemies have different strengths and behaviors. Some monsters move randomly, others will chase you. Strategic positioning is key to survival. Rest when safe to recover health. The goal is to survive the dungeon, gather powerful components, craft legendary weapons, and ascend to freedom so you can take your revenge in the Archmage Endor. It's just him who made it. It's a browser game. There's just no download, so run the game. Okay, it's not too bad if it has a full screen anyway, so Dungeon Delver or Willick Adventure, new game, press enter. Welcome to the dungeon. Use the arrow keys to move. Greater than to go downstairs, up then to go, upstairs. Okay, press space to basically, skip that. Into the dungeon. Okay, so here I am. You punch the coast for 10 damage. Ghost punch you for 18 damage. Alright, this is going to get very annoying if I basically have to press spacebar every time I want to basically skip stuff here, by the way, so. You have perished. Your journey has come to an end in the depths of the dungeon. Final stats, level 4, enemies defeated 5. Apparently defeated 5 enemies, that's interesting. Let's try again. But yeah, it's going to get very annoying if I can't actually, play the game at, a good speed, so. Okay, I can't go diagonally if I want to, that's good to know. Using numpad. Alright, so there's arrow keys, numpad, move in 8 directions. The basis is to rehash everything I have right here. Yeah, it's like a delay basically, with everything you're doing in this game, which is not great. You see a terra scale on the ground. We'll get it. You pick up the items. So open inventory of I. There's a terra scale. A tiny scale from a legendary terrace regenerate weapon damage over time. Effects. A tiny scale from legendary terrace regenerates weapon damage over time. Effect increases durability by 20. Okay. I'm guessing that's a goblin up there. There's a monster, by the way. It's got 190 HP, 31 damage, speed 100, movement random. Here's an iron soul gem. I don't know why I have a letter for an item, but okay. An iron gem pummel that seems to contain a captured soul. There's a monster. It moves randomly. It's interesting how these don't have names or anything like that. It's just monster. That's all it is. You see a fine iron soul gem on the ground. We'll get it. Alright, so do I have to basically combine these items, or what's the thing here? So, fine iron soul gem. An iron gem pommel that seems to contain a captured soul. So there's the pommel. There's a fine iron edge. A sharp iron edge ready to be forged into a deadly weapon. So an iron blade, quality 50, durability 30, damage bonus. There's an adamantium bonus here. Okay, so tab is craft mode. So you can't combine these into anything useful. There's a monster there, it's random. The water elemental, okay. Arrest and recover health. I pick up the items. So there's a Ruin X grip. Okay, a fine sword made of sturdy iron. It deals 10 physical damage, equipping weapon slot. A crude iron sword. Has 0.5 talisman slots filled. So okay, that's basically the idea. You can basically collect stuff like so. They seem to leave me alone, so leave them alone. Yeah, they move around randomly, but if you get close to them, they seem to want to attack you is the thing, right? So a fine steel frost forge edge on the ground. Pick it up. More stuff to pick up. I wonder if enemies will drop items for me to basically use for crafting, right? So I could be thinking as well. A steel edge that brings ice cold to the touch. Our terrestrial scale. This is going to be time consuming, but I want to go back up there and see if there's anything I missed. Because I didn't really fully explore because there's monsters there. There's a monster. It's stationary. A fragment of dragon turtle shell, nearly indestructible. That's the skeleton, apparently. We'll fight the skeleton for a little bit. Okay, we defeat the enemy. I mean, the concept here works fine, I think, but there's the issue of just how annoying it is to sort of play this game. Random. I see a lot of randomness for these monsters, but not, you know. The goblin. Yeah, so far I'm not seeing anything drop from these guys, but I'm also just killing like weak enemies at the moment. There's another monster. That's a stationary monster. Another monster is random. A drake scale. A razor sharp scale from a drake cuts through armor like butter. I feel like I should probably at least try and force at least one weapon right now, so... Let's have a look at all the stuff here. We'll select this. So I can make a dagger if I basically use, like, you know, the Ruin X grip and this thing. There's the iron sword. So Soul Gem basically turns this from, like, you know, a dagger into like a sword. I'm guessing you need to have like all the same like components in order to make, like, you know, the same type of weapon. So I can't use this egg with like an iron grip. Oh yes, I can. Well, let's just go with like the basic stuff here to make like, the sword. So press into the craft the fine sword with sturdy iron. Okay, so fine sword made of sturdy iron. And we can see like, add stuff to it. A teeny iron skull that serves as a pommel. Eyes blink, sometimes blinks, so that's basically a pommel right there. Okay, we're wielding this. So yeah, basically, the main concept works fine. There's a monster with 38 damage, 40 damage. Fine iron bone grip. Whoops, the werewolf punches me for a lot of damage. Fine iron cutter. Runic blade. So this is an iron hilt right here, an iron blade right there. So let's make the dagger there of this. Or another sword right here. Well, we'll get ourselves the second sword. I mean, I don't want to fight this. It's too strong, so... Did he double move me? So the werewolf might be able to double move me. So him for 13 damage, and he's double moving me. It could be the sword slow me down here a little bit, so it's not that great without like enchantments and stuff on it. Yeah, sometimes this guy's double moving me. Let's move away from this guy a little bit. Note that the durability of my weapon is going down a little bit, but whatever. Okay, I see what's going on. Note that basically it says on the right there, like I'm doing 10 damage every like one turn. So with the sword, I basically swing very slow. Whoops. So I'm actually better off fighting a werewolf without like my fist basically than anything else. Yeah, you saw a double move right there. So werewolves are fast. He's only got 24 HP left at this point, by the way, so... Down he goes. I'll note, by the way, the line of sight seems to be an issue here. Sometimes, like, I can't see stuff. This guy's random. See how the young dragon basically hits me for 40 damage, as to be expected. You arrive at level 3, the mid-lower level. The caves become more pronounced with natural formations overtaking man-made structures. Okay, so we made it to the next level. There's another, werewolf type of enemy probably. There's another monster that's stationary over there. This is a Wraith. You double move me there. So I am slower than the Wraith. Yeah, it seems like an interesting concept, but it's let down a little bit by the controls here a little bit. Also, because the enemies are sort of randomly moving around, they aren't really that much of a threat. Yeah, I risked Darius killing it, but whatever. Now, obviously, I could probably enchant my weapon to be like more powerful, so that's something I might want to do. I'm guessing that's a werewolf again. An iron edge that whispers when it strikes flesh. I wonder if like these are just like anything special, these names, or if like, it's just like the type of material they're made, basically made of that like, matters. Like the original handguard that protects the wielder from combat, that might be like more powerful than like, normal, so. Yeah, it's like a steel cutter. It's got more damage bonus to it, durability and such. I kind of feel like this should be organized, like, into like edges, stuff like that, rather than like, going down the list like this. But you do what you can in like your time, basically. So there's that. So this basically is an Iron Dragon Tooth Guard. It's got 22 durability, quality 50, durability free. I mean, it's basically the same thing. There's a Steel Forged Edge. If I find like, something to go along with like the Orisham Handguard, Adamantium, like, Edge, might be able to make out something very nice of that, I guess. There's a goblin again, I think. Looks like a goblin. Yeah, a goblin. Now, I'm not too fond of the fact there's a, S right there. And apparently this thing is chasing me. Hunts player. Okay, so it's the first like enemy sort of to actually fight. And it's punched me. Okay, we killed it. So that's the first thing that actually fought me, a giant spider on level 2. And again, spacebar basically continues like really annoying, of course, but whatever. There doesn't seem to be any benefit for defeating enemies, just to get rid of them, so probably don't need to fight them really. Random, random, random. Oh, that's nice. They moved around them. And my inventory is getting kind of full, but we're not quite there. And again, it's a little bit annoying because, like, the sight range, like, has issues. I can't sometimes see around corners like I should. Whoop, this guy's got 19 damage and a lot of HP. I might not be able to survive him. Unless they force something really powerful, so... Increases damage by 20, that's nice, but, whatever. So this... So there's a fine iron sword I have right here. How do you attach the stuff to it? But we can see like the stuff getting damaged, I guess, as we go along, which is nice. So that's cool. I can equip this. Does it tell me in here how to basically like add stuff basically to the stuff here? Because that's basically part of the concept, like making like better weapons as a crafter. So R, rest to recover HP, cost action points, each action cost action points generate based on speed. Yeah, I see a bit of an issue. It's not really telling me how to, like, you know, upgrade my weapons. Let's say here. Like, you didn't actually tell me how to, like, you know, add the talisman, so you have to go through here and do it. Nope, it just says drop or like, you know, whatever. It doesn't say like, you know, add or anything like that. So fine dagger made of rare adamantium. It says this is going to be a crude iron dagger for some reason. I don't know why, but okay. Oh, there we go. We can actually go over here with the arrow keys. So add or remove is this stuff. Okay, there we go. So there's the ogre bone basically here. I wonder if I can actually take this stuff out later. So when I'm done with it, I can basically remove it. Okay, so the Drake scale basically increases damage by 20, so why not? We'll put in a Drake scale. Why not? Let's put it all right there, right? I'll save the last one, but you know. So you hit the Minotaur with your fine sword for 53 damage. Hits me for 19. I hit him for 53 damage. Hits me for 19. I critically hit the Minotaur with your fine sword for 106 damage. You defeat the enemy. So we defeat the Minotaur. And now this sword is actually worth using because, you know, it's powerful, right? Can I take it out? Yes, you can. So it actually makes sense for me to maybe equip like the Trent thing at some point. So let's put that all right there. Iron hilt again. This guy's got a speed of 80, by the way, so I'm a little bit faster than him. I hit the Beholder for 106 damage. Hits me for 31. Critically hit him for 106 damage again. He died. I kind of feel it's kind of bad to, you know, the enemies don't drop anything, because, you know, it feels like something they should be doing. Soul Gem. Monster, stationary. Alright, let's see here. So I could turn this into a fine sword made of rare adamantium. It says it's still a crude iron star for some reason, but I'm not really sure why. But okay. It'd be nice, probably, if you could actually see, like, you know, what you're basically sort of crafting damage-wise, rather than, like, you know, having to guess, but whatever. We'll craft that. So there's my thing there. I wonder if you can actually dismantle these things, by the way, as well. So doesn't seem like you can do like anything like that of that nature, but whatever. So here's the fine adamantium sword. It deals 10 physical damage. And I'm not really sure why it's not doing any like additional damage over, like, you know, what I've already had. I'm not really, you know, whatever. Steel edge, shield hilt. The lich. Okay, so it's the lich. He's almost dead. Oops, we got ourselves something that's hunting me. So it seems random, but, you know, what the heck did R just do? I pressed R to sort of, like, you know, rest and regain health. I guess it, like, revealed the map. There's some wrappings. This has got a speed of 130, so it's going to basically be, you know, every like so often moving a little bit faster. The harpy, so that's a harpy. There's another adamantium, you know, blade on the ground, I guess. So, you arrive in level 2, the mid-upper level. Torque scones flicker, casting eerie shadows on the ancient walls. So we kill the skeleton. And you enter the dungeon, so here we are in like the last one. You arrive at level 1, the upper level of the dungeon, closest to the surface, the air is slightly fresher here. So there's a Drake scale. So that's cool. My look mode isn't looking for some reason, just like, you know, whatever. Monster hunts player is very weak. The kobold. There's a kobold right there. Here's a cleaver. So we got ourselves an Orchulum cleaver here. So I guess if you want to, you can come to this like level to get the good stuff. So regards to the handguard and a cleaver. So I could make myself a fine dagger made of mystical or originum. And it still says crude iron dagger. So it seems like there's some issue with, like, you know, the weapons being crafted. They basically, like, you know, apparently do less damage than they really should be when they're crafted to full potential or whatever. Let's see here. Let's drop this. We'll grab this. Whoops, I selected the wrong things, I guess. So there we go, I can make myself a fine sword made of hardened steel. And yeah, it still says like value 500 gold, rarity is rare, weight is 3 kilograms. Now, armor plate from bullet, extremely resistant to physical stress. Basically, just makes your, you know, weapon better. You almost feel like I should just like use this to sort of like, you know, store like, you know, these things, just so I don't have to like have in my inventory. So that's like another issue I basically have of crafting. It kind of feels like, you know, the item limit is not really useful for this game. There's a razor. And there are Orochium handguard, which, you know, is nice, but I kind of want the pommel that goes with it too. And our ogre bone. What's the stationary weapon, or like, you know, enemies here? There's our pommel. Why not? Let's pick up the this thing here. Get a blade. Boom, why not? Drop that. Giant spider. I'm not sure why, like, you know, pressing R sometimes reveals the entire map like that. Alright, so we got ourselves Adamantium Blade, Finale, Crystal Focus. So there's a pommel, and a blade. So I need to have, like, you know, the handguard that goes with it, but whatever. Oh, there's a random moving monster finally. Alright, let's see here. Blade, finale, rip. So there we go. I make myself a fine sword made of rare adamantium. Still, it's only like, you know, whatever, but whatever. You know, it is what it is. So, let's remove this. Let's remove this. This adds 80 elemental damage apparently. I'm not sure like the elemental damage being as a thing, because like, you know, I didn't see like any like massive increase of damage from like the necrotic, like, you know, corrupted trench sap here, so I questioned that a little bit. Let's drop that because I feel like it. Let's just go beat up this zombie down here a little bit. By the way, I just found myself the bone grip for this thing, so. Right, you need a pommel, not the hand grip. Yeah, I'm not doing like, you know, the damage I suspect I would be doing here. This is add a lot right there. Wield this instead. It's going to beat up this kobold down here. That goblin's hostile, but whatever. And this is working tremendously, like, you know. A mimic. What's the R? A rat? Giant rat. I'll note, by the way, this is steel up here. It's kind of hard to tell, like, you know, steel from iron with the colors, by the way, so that's another thing that could be better. So we got ourselves some corrupted, like, you know, trench sap. Oh, so Drake's skill basically increases damage by 60. There's a counterweight. Yeah, I do 175 damage naturally right now, so Far more damage. There's an Ogre Bone. Demon Spine. It's just a lesser demon, I guess. So congratulations, you escaped. Your adventure stats, you defeated 25 enemies, level 6 Explore 1. Obviously, this is like all messed up, but that was basically like, you know, Roguesmith. It's got issues. It's not like bad, but it just has issues.